Before I get started with this video, let me give a shout out to Molly Warren Rebooted on Twitter for tagging me in this. She said, Torian, I think you might enjoy this. And let me just say this. I think y'all like when I do my Twitter analysis videos just as much as y'all love when I do the news stories, mainly because when it comes to the Twitter analysis, it doesn't require me to have to read an article. This is basically purely based off of my own complete thought. It's not me piggybacking off of a news source. This is piggybacking off someone else's thoughts, and a lot of times it's just utterly ridiculous. Now, one of the more recent Twitter analysis that I did was talking about a laKKKaren who just could not see the forest from the trees when it came to the topic of feminism, even though it was broken down in its simplest form. And by the way, the conversation about that kept on going past the time of me doing the recording of the initial video. I just didn't put the other additional points in there, but it was mainly responses to that person's goofiness. But that's besides the point. But now we're going to be talking about another person. Now, this person, some of you probably already heard of. And the way I heard about her was through Tariq a few years ago. And he used to always talk about this person named Feminista Jones. And I'm like, who the hell is Feminista Jones? Like, I would look her up, but I could never find anything. But then it turns out it was a play on words of her username, which was Feminista Jones. And I actually did a video, I think, about her. Feminista Jones was that young grandmother, the one who became like a grandmother when she was like, before she was 40. I'll put it like that. She was a very young grandmother. I don't know how old her daughter is now or how old the grandchild is, but she was the one that became a grandmother at a very, very young age. So I'm going to just leave that alone. But this is her account right here. And of course, you know, she has a blue check. But before I get into that, let me read her bio. It says, I write, I study, I teach, I speak, I create, I build. Build what? That's what I'd like to know. Already we telling lies. I change lives one revolutionary action at a time. Lie number 2. Then she put hashtag Africology, hashtag LGBTQ, hashtag feminism, hashtag mental health. Her bio alone tells you that this woman is not all the way there. Every word in that bio. But let's talk about this tweet. She said, content creators working for outlets that cater to African American. I'm guessing she was supposed to say African Americans because she says African American as if it's just one person, one singular person, but she says that she writes. Clearly her writing is not that up to par, but okay. You do not feature fat women enough, and the majority of African American women are fat. Let's stop right there. Did y'all hear that? Are y'all hearing this? She says you do not feature fat women enough, and a majority of African American women are fat. Excuse me? Do we have an obesity problem? Yeah. Can we get that down lower? I think we can. It'll take some work, but I think it can be done. But she's getting upset because black people who create content aren't featuring enough fat black women. Something tells me she falls into this category. Let me continue. So you're erasing the majority of us. Okay, so she is talking about herself. This is like a Dear John letter to herself. She says, you're erasing the majority of us, and it is giving fat phobic Eurocentric beauty standards. Cut it out already. Wow. This is just like, I'm blown away already. And she has another tweet that follows this. Let's try to break this down. She says, you do not feature fat women enough. Okay. There are so many publications out there that do show fat women or fat black women. There are publications out there, but you feel that it's not enough. Why don't you create what you seek, or what it is that you look at when you look at what you see when you look at yourself in the mirror every day that you wake up? How about that? Instead of waiting for other people to do it for you. That's a start. Then she says the majority of African American women are fat. That's like a huge insult on the majority of black women, because I don't think or believe that the majority of black women are fat. Like, that's crazy. It's almost as if she's upset that she's seeing publications like maybe from these big time magazines and Eurocentric companies that are featuring slightly, I guess you could say, bigger overweight women who are not black, and she's mad because black women who fall into that category don't get featured as well, so she's taking it out on us. I think that's what it's boiling down to. That's not our problem. We don't work for Vogue or Teen Magazine or W or any of those other fashion magazines that will feature women of that size, or even put them. I've even seen the commercials where they're advertising undergarments for women who are plus size, and I've seen black women in those commercials of all different shades. So I don't know what she's talking about. She's projecting. Then she says it is giving fat phobic Eurocentric beauty standards, basically saying, why are people featuring those who are not considered black, who fit into the category of overweight or, fat or whatever the case may be? Why are they being featured more than black women who fall into that category? I don't know. Why don't you go knock and beat down their door and ask them, and stop projecting on us like we have the answers? Let's continue. And I'm going to go through these quoted tweets. Then she goes on to say, it's bad enough you only feature dark-skinned women when they look quote-unquote exotic or are super slim. Let me stop right there. Keep in mind, these are the same women who get upset when light-skinned, quote-unquote exotic-looking women or Dominican, Latina, Puerto Rican, whatever women get featured a lot. They're mad at that. Or biracial. They can get mad at that. But now she's getting mad that you're featuring dark-skinned women who look quote-unquote exotic. AKA, they are slim. They're in shape. So you mean to tell me you are comparing exotic looks to being in shape? How? Anybody can be in shape no matter what their background is. All they got to do is eat right, drink water, get the proper rest, work out. That's it, and not in any particular order. That is it. It's not rocket science. But because she does not fit into any of those categories, now she's projecting onto us what we should be doing. No, we who create this kind of content don't have to be doing a damn thing that you request because you're insecure. She goes on to say, it's bad enough you censor curlier hair textures and marginalize kinky, coarse hair types. So she's gone from black content creators are not creating enough content surrounding around big black women. She's mad at the slim in shape, dark skinned woman who looks quote unquote exotic in her eyes, because exotic is the same as being in shape. There are exotic looking people who are not in shape. Now she's saying that we censor curlier hair textures and marginalize kinky, coarse hair types. This is nothing but ultimate projection right here. And it's real childish. Like, how old is this woman? This woman is almost 40 if she's not 40 already. And she's sounding like someone who's in her 20s, early 20s. Then she says, but you literally ignore the majority of African American women by not featuring fat women. Are you kidding me? Are you for real? I cannot make this up. If no one sent this to me, I would not have known that this even existed. I am literally stumped right now at what I just read. And we're almost 10 minutes in. And look, we have all these quoted tweets, and y'all know when it comes to the Twitter analysis and they talking about this junk, we got to go through, we got to see what people got to say, because we did the same thing with what's her face, Professor Crunk, Brittany Cooper. And keep in mind, this is the same, that woman said that she gained weight because of Trump. So she basically blamed Dub S, Trump, and racism for her weight gain, yet Trump's been out of office for over a year, and I haven't seen anything about her being on a regimen, a diet, losing weight, or anything. Nothing. And she expects us to believe that she was at a slimmer size when Obama was in office, or at least in the second term, and she just happened to just massively gain this weight when 2016 to 2020 rolled around. Let's hop into these quoted tweets and see what they're talking about. This person say, no way this isn't a diss, LMFAO. Someone said, holy L. Someone said, not majority of African American being fat, can't catch a break out there. This one says, not being fat, and shout out to Nick Star, someone who I follow on here. He says, not being fat is not a Eurocentric beauty standard. Black women are not automatically fat just because they're black. In addition, it's not okay to normalize black women being fat. Exactly, and that's what she was doing. She was trying to make black women being fat a good thing. That's why when she put that part in there about exotic women who are dark skinned and super slim, she tried to make it seem like that was a bad thing. Then she went into the whole thing about the curlier hair texture, and you know what road that leads to. It leads to a dead end on their part. We know how to find a detour and go the other way. This person said only around 44% of black women over the age of 18 are obese or fat. How is that the majority? What about the 56% that are not? This person said this is such a sad and depressing tweet. Someone else said, how about we address the fat black women epidemic instead? This person said, bruh, is that a joke? You want black women to be portrayed as fat women? And this person just put this anime character up here and they said self-own and they put 3 crying emojis. Someone says, girl, just lose the weight and STFU. And shout out to the black women that are coming in here and going in on this. Because when it comes to these women who say and regurgitate this filth, you're needed just as much as the men to go in on this foolishness. Just so they don't think that is one-sided and that they try to accuse us of being fat phobic, even though that's what she did right here. She says, LMAO, no one wants to see that shit. Imagine if Power had a bunch of fat bees getting effed. This is our expectations are on the floor. Exactly. And I like her name, Protein Shaker. She said, our expectations are on the floor. Kind of reminds me of the moment of truth that Professor Black Truth just recently did a couple days ago about when he was talking about Lil Nas X and him being honored or something like that. And he said, the bar has been lowered to the floor. Now that's low. You can't get no lower than the floor. Shout out to this person right here. I also follow them here on Twitter. They said content creators working for outlets that cater to African American. It says you do not feature poor black people enough, and the majority of African American people are poor. So you're erasing the majority of us and is giving classes Eurocentric economic standards. Cut it out already. So basically, they just flipped the script on this person. And it could be in a sarcastic or maybe a not so sarcastic way. Because either way, that could be deemed as true. It says, this person said a majority of African-American women are fat. Sounds like some shit I'd say. I don't know if they trolling or not. They probably are. This person said, if I were an African-American woman, I'd be offended by this tweet. Right. This person said, what you said is actually more insulting than whatever it is you're calling out. This person says, y'all love shaming people, LOL. And yeah, and these are the same women that be trying to say they uplifting this and uplifting that. Me like my Brittany Cooper called black women pick-me's. Now you have Feminista Jones talking about the majority of black women are fat. The jokes sometimes write themselves. This person said, fats are the expectation we live under, hashtag fat supremacy. This person says the black community is doomed. Niggas complaining about why it should be more fat people on TV. Send the flood. This person said, whoa. This person said majority of black women are fat. I don't know, man. This seems like a lie and counterproductive. It is a lie and it is counterproductive. This person said this is the mental illness with trying to make weight a part of your identity. Exactly. This person said majority of any race is overweight when you actually look at the stats. The average woman is a size 16 for crying out loud, but only African-American women want morbidly obese women to represent us. I'm sorry, keep Rasputia and Precious hidden. This person said, why would you want to promote obesity if it is already an issue for our community? Stop this. Seeing images of healthy black women should be inspiration for those of us who are overweight. Exactly. And that's coming from a person right there that deemed themselves overweight. They look at themselves in the mirror and they have accepted that they are overweight and they most likely want to change that. Meanwhile, you got people like this Feminista Jones, or as Tariq calls a Fraudinista Jones, who wants to keep black women in this state of obesity. Like what? This makes no sense. This makes no sense. And this is supposed to be the quote unquote backbone of the community, y'all. This is the alleged backbone of the community. Talking like this. Let's continue. They says, y'all want inclusion and validation so bad just to go to PF. I don't know if they talking about PF Chang's, the restaurant, or Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, okay. They're talking about Planet Fitness. It says, just go to Planet Fitness. Okay. It's a sigh. My hand, me, the black and mild. This person says she's calling y'all fat. She is. She did. That's what she said to the black women out there. She's calling you fat. She said the majority of black women are fat. Those were her words, not ours, not mine. She says, y'all just say any damn thing on here. They do. It says, would love to know where she got her research from to come to this conclusion. This person says, damn, old girl called y'all fat. And they put a crying emoji. It says, hey, she's saying the majority of y'all are sloppy hippos. Yeah, and that's the thing. She thinks that she was actually doing something like uplifting black women, but the thing is you were insulting them. Like you literally called the majority of black women fat. And these will be the same women that talk about body positivity and why you fat shaming. And what did she do? What did she do in this tweet? All to try to prove a point, and she shot herself in the foot. She says, being in shape and living a healthy lifestyle is not a Eurocentric beauty standard. Look at any pic from the 70s or 80s and black women was in shape. In other countries around the world, the same thing. Fat phobic, LOL. This one says, I'm tired of y'all on Twitter making them stats on the fly to appear intelligence. The majority of African Americans being fat, where? This person says, majority of black women in America fat. LMAO, that's some low tier ish. This person said, oh, shout out to Little Miss Firecracker. She says, aren't you the same woman that got mad and was blocking black women when they asked you to talk about Jason Pope? Ooh. Uh-oh. Somebody done pulled out the receipts. It says, this has to be satire, LOL. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. It says, what's Eurocentric about not being fat? LMAO. It says, you worried about content creators when y'all should be worried about why African American women are so damn big. Us African American men are the only men who weigh less on average than our women. That's embarrassing. Get in shape. This person said, you tweet like Shaq played at the end of his career. It says, the funniest tweet I've ever seen. Stay around longer on Twitter and you'll see some more foolishness. Oh, so look at this. This says, this lady has not been well. They says, Philadelphia activist and writer Feminista Jones is famous for letting misogynist have it on Twitter, much to the delight of her more than 160,000 loyal followers. She gets props for creating some of the social media most enduring hashtags. You okay, sis? That call it to attention of street harassment. We can also think, I don't feel like reading any more of that. It says, when people watch movies, they want to see somebody they look like, not their boring ass selves. Give a girl a fat Barbie doll and see what happens. They says, I'm crying. It says, why do you hate black women? It says, how about this? Wait for it. Diet and exercise. Shut up. Eat right and work out. That's simple. It says, nah, this is crazy. Interesting. And see, the thing is, what she wants is she wants us to just accept low tier behavior. That's what it is. And then it teeter-totters into that realm of being lazy at the end of the day, too. It's crazy. It's a weird paradigm. It says, now ask yourself, black women, is this really the image you want to put out there as a demographic already fighting for fair promotion? Is being regarded as mostly fat the way to go? This person says, y'all have lost the plot for real. And this is, that's the Kawhi Leonard. This is Dear Neptune. This is so off. Half the time, the only black representation in a movie, show, or commercial will be the angry, heavy-set black woman working the DMV line or call center or something. If anything, why not be mad at the fact that always trying to make sisters look bad? But she ain't thinking about that. She's thinking of herself. She pretty much said it. Oh, I know what kind of day it's going to be in here. It says, I want to disappear sometimes because of tweets like this. It says, I agree they are erasing African American women, but how is that Eurocentric? It says, they're laughing at the replies. It says, she's right. Look at the poorly endowed white boys trolling her, though. You need a woman built like an anorexic 11-year-old to feel validated, but go off little dick MFs. This one says, LMAO, but she did make some valid points. Where at? Please point out one valid point she made. This one says, low-key embarrassing. They said she called y'all obese. LMAO. They says, the majority of us are fat. She said, y'all fat. That's crazy. She says, so you want to see more unhealthy women highlighted in the media because of representation? Y'all are some stupid ass people. Yeah, she is. All that college and MFs still tweet dumb ish like this. My goodness. This person said, y'all worried about the wrong ish. Get in the gym. LMFAO. Incredible. This is mad offensive. Oh, Neptune. Stop being fat, then work on your mama jokes. I was wrong. May insulin may cost $1,000 out of pocket daily. This is the bottom is here somewhere. That is, if you can find it. This is people will never be happy. Satire account. Unfortunately, that's a real account, and I think she was. I don't think she was being satirical. This is 4 out of 5. Sorry about that. I hit the mic and ended up muting it, but I'm back. They said 4 out of 5 is wow. But now that I think about it, seeing a skinny black woman has become rarer than finding a legendary Pokemon, so I can believe it. This says, now that I think about it, majority of us are big. I don't think so. But if they continue to put that out there like she wants, you will believe that the majority of us are big. And that's what she wants. It says, do you actually have any personality other than your list of grievances? LMFAO, they says, when you want to have your cake and eat it too. It says, to be honest, I would be embarrassed to say that the majority of the people in my community is fat. Like, instead of asking for representation, you should use your platform on how to eat healthy on a budget, introduce some at-home workouts, teach about the evils of added sugars, and etc. Something tells me she probably tuned out Michelle Obama every time she started doing the health talk. I hate this woman's take so much. And this one says, is this a joke? This is somebody in the comments said, as a fat. They said the majority of African American women are fat. This is fat black women have been overexposed in the anti-black media. I can't find a single Google ad that doesn't feature a dark-skinned fat black woman flanked by all skinny white and blonde women. We are overrepresented on social media and gifts. This isn't something that needs more promotion. Girl, bye. It says the quotes, yeah, we laugh right along with it. And I'm sure those of y'all who are looking at this video right now laughing too. It says the best solution to this is either you become a content creator yourself and create the content you want, or give enough financial backing to a content creator to persuade them towards the content you want. That's probably one of the most logical responses in this thing that's non-roasting. This response right here by this Sade B, the sensible millennial wife. Now, how ironic, they said sensible millennial wife, which means she's married and has some sense. It says that's not satire. If people actually think she's joking, she's not joking. She's being like for real. She's being dead ass. A lot of people think that this is satire, and it's not. And he's not to her. It says you could just go for a run. Just saying. It says this is sad on so many levels. The people in the quote tweets might be funnier than the actual tweet. So today and left is gone wild. It says someone should tell her that's racist. Lose weight simple. It says you for real right now? It says it's crazy this isn't satire. She for real thinks this. Fat phobia doesn't exist. It's a made up term for the purpose of shouting people down. Furthermore, promulgating the idea of healthy at any weight kills people. It says this one says yes. Oh God. She has a little fan. She has a little stand. This is WTF. It says there fat people are going to get bullied and or the CC will lose their followers. The content creator. Because nobody wants to see the majority because nobody wants to look like that. It says, I beg your pardon. Let's see. It's also in light of the pandemic. You're not asking them to promote fat black women working out and getting to a healthy weight to survive COVID. Woo it. You declare that most of us are fat as if that's something to be proud of. I was never proud because I never felt healthy and comfortable. LOL. I don't know how true this is, but if the majority of African American women are fat, we need to work on that, especially since being fat is linked to poor health and this country isn't giving us health care. That's actually not true. This is something that she pulled out of her ass. because that's what she is. Wow. It says, yes, Queen of Fatness has entered the chat. It says, you can't be serious right now. Oh, you're serious? LMFAO. It says, yes, this is going in the Hall of Fame. And here's another same person. Black women, not Jews, were Hitler's primary target. Revisionist history just muted that. Black women were destroying Germany. This is an old tweet from her. Same person before she got the blue check. In other news, it seems like mental derangement is alive and well. Just scrolling through, seeing what people say. It's a lot of LMAO responses here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop it right. And I'm going to come and see the quoted tweets that she left for the second tweet. Now, this one only has 6 of them, so it's not many. Shout out to Molly Warren Rebooted. This is the one that sent this to me. She said, and this is in response to the second tweet. She says, no one wants to see Gabby Sidibe as a love interest. Also, what the F is exotic? You mean good looking? And this, shout out to Lil Miss Firecracker again. She says, this is you trying to explain for Jason the pedo Pope. I'm not even going to click on that. I mean, that pretty much says it all for me. It says Jim Diet. It says, I agree that black women need a wider range of representation that includes fat women. However, let's be honest with ourselves. When dark-skinned black women get represented, it's not the exotic ones usually. There is no need to lie to make a valid point. And this one says embarrassing. So as you can see, the majority of the people have spoken when it comes to this. She is just projecting because this is who she is. This is how she feels about herself. And this is straight comedy. Like, if this was a act, she could have taken this on the road, but she probably wouldn't have gotten far. She probably would have made it down the street with this little whatever. But it's stupid. But like I said, this is why everyone doesn't need a voice. And the people get a blue check and they lose their freaking minds. Like this one right here. And that's all she did before she got that blue check was campaign for her. And now all she's doing is campaigning to keep it. That's it. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.